You are listening to Seniors Junction podcast. We are eliminating seniors isolation, one conversation at a time. Your hosts today are Namrata Bagaria and myself, Paul Merkley, co-founders of Seniors Junction. And our special guest is Emeritus Professor Dr. Fraser Code, Emeritus Professor of Physics from the University of Toronto. Welcome. And could I ask you to say a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I have been happily married for many years, and I retired early at about 59 in 2003. So I've had a lot of time since then to fill with other projects. And rather than continue my research, which was based on an experimental lab, I decided to change and do volunteering work and do other things. And I had a very rich retirement, I must say. And my wife and I are still in our house, and we're in our late 70s now. And we feel that we have been successful in overcoming some of the challenges of isolation. One thing with aging, I should say, is that you always lose something. You lose the ability to move freely. You gain a friend called arthritis, and you often have friendships that are terminated by death or separation. And this is something that we all have to cope with. I used to say to many people, we always rent our bodies. We have to give them back to Mother Earth when we've finished using these indestructible atoms. And we must keep that in mind and optimize our life so we get the most out of what we've been given.
Thank you. And before I ask you the next question, I just want to give the listeners a quick introduction. This is a very, very special podcast because Paul, Fraser, and myself, we all met for the first time 3.5 years ago at Harvard Alumni Club Toronto gathering in January of 2019, I think.
Yes.
Yes. And we've been in touch. One has become a co-founder, one is a dear friend. And it was Fraser who advised me go for a PhD, don't chase a career, chase knowledge. So it's thanks to these great gentlemen that I owe my career advice and career trajectory in Canada. So it's a very special episode for me. And Fraser, you've already alluded a little bit about social isolation, but can you elaborate a bit more about the pain points of social isolation according to you?
Well, I think one of the most important things is that isolation can be caused by many factors, and chief in my mind is depression. A person who is an introvert can be happy. But if you're introverted and depressed, it's unlikely that you'll be happy, and it's unlikely you'll have a large network of friends. So depression is a thief that takes away the opportunity of meeting people and doing things. If you're alive, there's always a chance for growth. So I look at the positive thing. I'm a bit of a warrior against depression. I've had depression myself and in the family. And I am trying to overcome that by looking at life as a sense of adventure. I've never been a senior before. And what can I do and do well with the opportunities that are always given to me? Sure, I can't learn as fast as a youngster, but there are many things that I can do that complement the youngsters that I know.
That's
Wonderful.
That's excellent.
Wonderful.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to highlight that Fraser's also volunteered on the ethics board of CAMH. So he has significant experience with mental health issues
Oh, wow.
and research. And this is one of the key things we talk about at Seniors Junction is leisure and serious leisure. And definitely volunteering, like Fraser mentioned, makes it richer to have something to look forward to when you retire.
There are a number of skills I could easily uh, use in volunteering. One of them was my experience on websites in the university. Uh, Long before there was technical support for websites, we had a physics website at Arundel for undergraduates that I basically authored and kept operating with a few assistants. But it was an easy thing for me to take that to my local church and have their website. Now, the church to me is more of a community rather than uh, an end all and be all in life. And I look at it as a chance to meet people that I would not meet in the university. So my other volunteering has been with CAMH, which was very good for them because not only am I a person with bipolar illness, uh, I've had quite a successful career as a physics professor and have taught medical students. So I could read the medical articles that I was reviewing and I could remind the members of the committee about the physics that they had forgotten since they were in medical school. So it was a happy marriage.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you've already spoken to this in part, but is there anything you care to add about your vision for addressing seniors' isolation?
Well, in my own case, I have a problem of visual isolation, that I've lost the ability to read books. I've lost the ability to use a normal sized computer screen, and I have to use magnification and accessibility tools. When I write on my computer, I dictate with a voice to text converter. And then when I proofread what I've written, I proofread it with a text to voice converter. So I'm using all the tools that I have to keep active. And that is an important thing, to look forward to opportunities that come. And I find that in maturity, you often have an understanding of life that escapes the younger. And that gift should be shared with the younger. So in some things, I write my recollections for my family in a Grandpa Fraser stories that anybody can do. And in fact, they're formatted as an electronic book so the grandchildren can read them on their iPhones. And this is something which I have looked forward to preserving some insights as to who I am and what my grandchildren will know about me in the years to come.
Mhm, mhm. And also, I think one of the things I know that Fraser's very active, right? And being physically active. Otherwise, too, when I go to Toronto, I meet you. So we are active. We go out for restaurants. We try new stuff. So those kind of things too.
That's all part of exploring life.
Yes, yes, yes. And my question to that is, if this is the vision that you need to explore and you need to be active, according to you, what are the common challenges do people face or did you face? And what are the opportunities?
Well, I suppose the biggest challenge I faced in my life was depression. And being bipolar, that's a serious condition. And I remember once having a psychology test on my wife and I both took it. to see how we could improve our relationship as young married couple with children on the way. And I turned out to have a little bit of a streak of depression, and I didn't know it. All my life, I'd been colored with depression, according to the psychologist. And in retrospect, I think this has been true. And my reaction was, well, despite that handicap, I'm going to make the most of my life. And I would try my very best. The depression cost me something in my career because I wasn't very good at managing a whole bunch of people. I had difficulty managing myself. And after I finished managing myself, there wasn't much energy left over to manage a large group. So I did have my best ideas published, but my publication record is about a third or a quarter of what some of the most active people do. The most active people still have about the same number of great ideas, but they're better in communicating them. And somehow I felt that I had the brakes on me through depression and had to come to terms with that.
And then what was the opportunity that you found in this? Like you said, you break through the barriers.
Well, one of the best things to do is to ask for help, to go in search of help actively. If somebody is not feeling well, if somebody has not enough exercise, then the first thing to do is to try and join something like an aquafit class or a spin class or something that you like to do with a group activity, and enjoy other people as well as enjoy yourself, because you feel better when you're moving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could go on, but maybe you have other questions.
Sure, sure.
I want to ask what advice you have for us. You know about our company, what we're trying to do. Do you have advice for us?
Well, there are many things I don't know about your company, like your business plan. You're good friends of mine, but I've never founded a business myself. I noticed that some people in the university say, how many publications have you got? And that's a measure of your success. Well, how many reads have your podcasts been generating? And how do you advertise your podcasts and have a theme for it? How do you improve the technical quality of your podcasts? This is wonderful opportunity for us, because I think, Nam, you're in India now and I'm in Toronto. Are you in Toronto?
I'm in Burlington.
Yes. And so this is an international recording.
Yes.
That is not possible many years ago.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I think these are some great advice pieces that you've given us. And even you mentioned, I think in the email earlier, right, the number of views, the SEO optimization. And these are the things where essentially we are raising money to have people help us with it. We constantly keep improving our work. But these are very valid points, and I very much appreciate your advice. It's always good advice because I know, so I've come so far because of one of your potent advices. I think the other advice which you had given me was, I remember you called me once and said, don't take it personally, Nam, but you need to ensure for your mental health. In the earlier days when I was in transition, And I remember he had specifically called me and told me, and I appreciated such feedback, because that's candid, that's honest, it's genuine, it's heartfelt. So thank you so much. And if people want to reach out to you or know more about you, how can they do that, Fraser?
Well, I do have a small website. It's www.frasercode.ca, not .com.
Mhm.
And I think you'll probably put up the link. It's fairly good. Fraser is easily spelled, but it should be in print.
Yes, yes, and I will share the link with everyone. So
Good.
thank you so much for this wonderful recording.
Thank you, Fraser.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful visit with you. And I hope my ideas have inspired some people to keep adventuring through life as long as they can.
Thank you.